Welcome to Spratsdown Woodland, the home of the Outdoor Ed School's alternative provision. We're located in Forley, a little town on the edge of the New Forest. And when you're looking to join us at this site, you'll turn off of Stanswood Road, you'll work your way down this beautiful scenic track behind me in this ancient woodland, and you'll join us at our site for amazing activities like archery, axe throwing, bushcraft and so many more. So why don't you join me for a little look around our site. Our 4-acre woodland is packed full of amazing activities. However, we've left plenty of space for wildlife to thrive, because we know that being active outside in a green space is so beneficial for both your physical and mental well-being. Our alternative provision always includes a bushcraft element. Whether the day starts with bushcraft, maybe we break for lunch with bushcraft, or maybe we finish with it. It's a brilliant way for students to be able to warm water so they've got hot drinks, cook something substantial for lunch, or maybe it's just a sweet treat. It also creates a perfect environment for students to develop their social skills as we all gather around the fire. It gives them a sense of responsibility, having to start, nurture and maintain a fire too. All great transferable skills for when they leave school and go into their future careers. We have 16 different award-winning activities, and we always like to start our provision by giving your student the chance to enjoy all 16 of them. It allows us and them to identify what they're most interested in, and then we can focus on those activities and help the individual achieve nationally recognised qualifications in those activities too. This is all while we embed your desired learning outcomes within the session too. And each week we'll update you with things like their attendance, when they turned up, what activities they took place in, the embedded learning we included in that session, and how they are progressing to achieving those activities. It allows us to keep them and ourselves on track to success. We have a couple of different alternative provision options for you to choose from. We have a group experience. This is where your student will join a small group of other students for their outdoor provision. We also have a one-to-one experience too. This is where your student will be working solely with one other instructor, and this can be tailored and bespoke for that individual's needs and their interests. We also have some timing differences too. We run 2 half-day provisions and a full-day provision. The half-day provisions, we have an AM section, so a 9 to 12, and then a PM section, which is 12:30 to 3:30. And if we glue the two together, that's our full-day experience. On a half-day experience, your student will take part in one outdoor activity and a bushcraft element. And if they join us for a full-day experience, they'll be taking part in 2 different outdoor activities and a bushcraft element too. All of our activities are progressive, so when they come along and join in, they won't be jumping straight into something like axe throwing. We actually start with an activity called club throwing, which is very similar to axe throwing, except from we remove the hazard of the sharp edges. The club or the axe is made out of plastic, but the targets are very similar. This allows the individual a chance to understand how the activity works, about the overthrow, the throwing line and the safety line, and the rules which go with each section of the range. And once they've processed this information and they can follow the instructions given by their instructor, we can progress onto something a little bit more advanced, like axe throwing. Our team of outdoor educators have had years of experience providing outdoor activities and alternative provisions, and they've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of students. And through this experience, we understand how important it is to have quiet breakout spaces, just like the one I'm sat in right now. So when your students join us for their alternative provision, if they ever feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, there is a safe spot for them to come away and immerse themselves in nature and in the sounds of the wildlife. Studies show that having that moment to sit quietly, enjoying a green space and listening to the wildlife naturally reduces stress and anxiety. And when your student feels like they're able to join back in with the activity again, the instructor will be there waiting to invite them back in. Even during the most glorious British summer, we can never guarantee that it's not going to rain. And that is the most common question that we get asked by schools and by parents. What happens if it's raining? Well, each of our activity stations has their own shelter, whether it is a tarp shelter or a gazebo. But if it is a particularly unpleasant day and students don't want to brave the elements, we do have massive shelters like the one to my left. This is a 14 metre by 7 metre shelter and can quite comfortably host activities to up to 16 people. But we limit our sessions down to 4 participants to 1 instructor, so there will be plenty of space for them to enjoy activities like arts, crafting, bushcraft, and even a little bit of VR. However, we do ask you to send your students dressed for the weather. So if it is bright sunshine and a scorching day, they need to turn up with a hat and some sunscreen. If it is a cold day, a nice jumper and maybe a woolly hat. And if we have got rain forecast, maybe some wellies, but definitely a waterproof jacket. If anyone turns up to site and they have forgotten any of these things, it's okay, because we do have some spare, very unstylish waterproof jackets and warm clothing too. The other things that we need your students to have with them to take part in the activities is closed-toed shoes to look after their feet during the activities. They also need to bring any medication that they may need throughout their stay with us too. Thank you for joining us on this brief tour of Spratsdown Woodland. And if you get to see it in person, there are so many more hidden gems for you to discover. In the meantime, if you think your student could benefit from this outdoor holistic approach to education, where we help your students develop key skills like leadership, communication and problem solving, then all you got to do is click the call us or email us buttons on the top bar of our website, and that will go through to our office team. They are experts in gathering the information that we need to develop a session which is bespoke for your student, so that we understand their interests and their needs, so when they turn up, they already get the very best experience, something which is fulfilling and meaningful and hits those desired learning outcomes. If you do have any questions, we look forward to hearing from you. Bye.